Hello and welcome to the supermarket, where we'll give you a live demonstration of the new Bluetooth system in the new AK-CC55 control solution. First, we have an AKV valve, which is typically mounted in front of the evaporator. Then we have the superheat sensors, the pressure transmitter, and an S2 sensor. They are normally placed here at the other end of the evaporator, inside the cabinet. Then we have two temperature sensors, the S3 and the S5, which are mounted in the airstream in both sides. And the last sensor, which is the S5 defrost termination sensor, is normally placed on the evaporator, also inside the cabinet. Then we have the case controller, the CC55 case controller, which is mounted on top of the cabinet in a small gear tray, or it could also be mounted below the cabinet, behind this plate here, so you will not be able to get easily into it. And then we have our Bluetooth display, and the Bluetooth display is for the interface to the app. Let me show you where the display is normally mounted. And it's mounted up here, and we can activate the Bluetooth button, but now it's locked, and I will show you or tell you more in the studio how that works. Yes, hello, and let's take a look at the lock function and how that works. When we developed the system with the wireless communication, Bluetooth communication, we also found out that security is a very important part. We don't want people to activate the Bluetooth key and download the app and do setting changes out in the supermarket. So for that purpose, we have a Bluetooth lock function, which is managed by the front end through the data communication to the controller, which can then lock or unlock for the Bluetooth communication. We also can make it very simple in a way that you are having a key switch connected directly to a digital input board, and by means of a key switch you can open or close for the Bluetooth communication. But let's go back to the supermarket and see a real service situation. We have now unlocked and should be able to communicate with the controller through the Bluetooth app. So I will activate the Bluetooth button, can open up my phone where I can start the app. So let me start the app, and here we go, connect to the controller. Connect to number 80, and we can see we have exactly the same as we see on the Bluetooth display up there. So let me now go into the curves. I can show the control state, I can control the evaporator. Let me check also the temperatures and see the last 3 hours. So now I can see the last 3 hours of the controller state. I can go back into where it's very interesting. If I'm a service engineer, I would rather start activating the different relays, and I go into digital outputs. I put the controller into manual. We can see it's in service up there. I can now turn on light. I do it from here, turn on light. I could start the rail heat. I could start a defrost. I could also open the valve manually with 50%. So now it's 50%, and you can now listen to it. It's 3 seconds on. It's difficult to hear. 3 seconds off. Yes, it's running 50%. And in this way, the service engineer can make a very easy service. Typically, now we can see there's also an active alarm, and I can see the main switch is off. So let me just turn the controller on again in start mode. And with the alarms, I can see what happened even before or days before. And I can see that last week there were a high temperature alarm, and we can see what was the set point for the alarm, what is the alarm air temperature at that moment, and there's even a lot of hints for the service engineer for him to find the root cause to the alarm. So in this way we have made it very easy for the service engineer to do his service.